have a couple different commands that we use.
Years. It's actually our company, Berkshire Barns, that did the restoration of these barns in the background. We started out with this barn right behind us called the horse barn, and it had a lot of damage on the north side, the back side, and it didn't have a floor in it. So we took out the bad timbers, replaced them with matching style timbers, new wood but matching style. We hand hewed the beams, we shave our own pegs, like what this young man's doing right here. So everything we do is historically proper to the age of the structure, and so that's why Rural Lands hired us to restore these barns. So if you walk inside, other than seeing new light-colored wood, all the construction style is the same as original, so it looks like it belongs there. So we moved from this barn onto the big barn, which had similar problems, so restored the barns from the ground up, new stone foundation work, new floors, new roof system. So now that they're both stable and useful again. Yeah, we like our antique tools. All of these are actually very old tools. Antique tools we find at antique stores and tag sales and eBay, you know, wherever we can find them, because really the old tools are better quality than the new tools.
So do you end up using like the slips and stuff?
Yeah, we do. We use the slicks. This is a 3-inch slick. It's from the mid-1800s. The handle's actually new. We turned these handles. But some of these other tools, like the broad axe, it's an old broad axe from the 1800s, but we had to make our own new handle, and we have to make our own handles because they're curved, so you have to make them by yourself. So we carve those out ourselves to suit our needs. Yeah, this is a barking spud, it's called. This is for peeling the bark off of live trees before you hew them into a square. So you stick this end here under the bark. You want to do it in the spring when the bark slips off the tree easy. And so that peels the bark off for you without actually having to carve into the tree. This right here is called a race knife. This is a unique tool. You don't see these anymore. Actually, they kind of went out of use around 1800. So when you see buildings that have these markings in them, it's a good telltale sign the barn came from prior to 1800. And it's for making what's called marriage marks. They're markings used to identify certain pieces of wood that go together. Yeah.
This is our 5th year of raising alpacas.
What got you started?
It's a bit of a story. We're going to build our dream house on a piece of my husband's father's farmland, and I wanted to have some kind of livestock. And my husband, having grown up with cows, wasn't too keen on having animals, but I wasn't too keen on watching the grass grow either. So I decided a fiber animal. I like knitting, and so I discovered alpacas. I saw a TV thing about them, and I was kind of intrigued. So I found a farm that raised them, and it was. I fell in love at first sight. So they're a lot of fun. They're fairly easy to take care of, low maintenance.
How have you been coming to this Sheep-to-Shawl for a while? Or?
On and off for a few years. On and off for about 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
We're a small dairy farm where we milk around 30 cows, and we make cheese and sell raw milk. And so we use all the milk on the farm. And I've been running the farm for about 3.5 years now, and it's just about 5 miles from here in South Williamstown. My family bought it about 12 years ago, but before that it's been a dairy farm for probably 100 years in different forms, but we just took it over this iteration of the farm, about 10 years now. So cool. Yeah. We do raw milk, which we only sell from our farm store, and then we do a number of different cheeses. We make about 4 or 5 aged cheeses, so raw milk aged cheeses, and then we do several fresh cheeses as well. We're now selling butter that we make, buttermilk, whey. We have a bakery, so we have a lot of baked goods. We do meat, we do grass-raised beef and whey-fed pork, and then humanely raised veal as well. So a lot of different things.
So you've been coming to the Sheep-to-Shawl for a while now?
We have, yeah. I don't know exactly how many years, but quite a few, and it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
People are pretty psyched to be here, so it's a nice event.
I worked for the Hancock Shaker Village for about 11 years, and I learned a lot of techniques there. And then Lynn and I met, and I taught her, and we said, why don't we see if we can sell some of these things? So we do various shows like this, and the Massachusetts Sheep and Wool Show at Cummington, that kind of thing.
We never make two alike.
Okay. Yeah.
That's our theory.
Are
It may be the same type of basket, but
Right.
it would be different textures or colors or whatever. And it's a lot of your own creativity too, you know, because you don't want it to be the same.
You know, the seagrass we normally use to finish the basket under the rim to
So you don't
hide
have, like,
some
a
of
gap?
the gaps. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, my farm is it's all pasture based, and I raise beef, pigs, and chickens, meat chickens.
Okay.
By pasture based, I mean the beef are grass fed, the pigs I keep up in the woods, and the chickens are out on pasture at about 1 month. Everything's processed USDA and sold either right out of the farm store or at events like this or at the Williamstown Farmers Market, which starts May 25th, and or people who buy it by the side or split side or something like that. Okay, so that's what I do with the animals, and then I do a lot of hay as well at a property that I lease from the town. So that's basically East Mountain Farm. I was on the Rural Lands Board when we purchased this property, and was president for a few years after that. The first time I came here, it was like you just looked around and said, boy, it's a lot of work. A lot of work. Because it had been, it was a working farm, and farms don't make a lot of money, so you kind of stretch and try and get by, and it didn't look anything like this, I can tell you. But and it had been empty for a while, hadn't been farmed for a while, so it was in pretty tough shape. But looking at it today, it's amazing. The barns are structurally sound now. The addition of the silo is terrific, and it's just great to see all these people here. So.
Cool.
The big project when I was president, I'm very proud of, is the Community Land Trust at the caretaker farm. And that was a very complicated arrangement it's basically affordable housing for a farm. It was an attempt to, and it's a successful attempt to transition that farm from the Smiths to a pair of farmers where the cost structure they wouldn't have to bear the cost structure. So Rural Lands wound up through fundraising and through our own monies purchasing the farm. So Rural Lands owns the farm, the land itself. We don't own the buildings, the structures. But that brings the cost of the structures down where a farmer can afford it. So, obviously a very successful CSA, and it's a 100-year or 99-year lease, so it's got a ways to go.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud of that. It's not been done much. There's a couple of them around, and it certainly is needed in Williamstown because we don't have a lot of small farms like that. I think they farm 7 acres. It's bigger than that, but they actually have under production 7 acres, and that's a lot. They produce a lot of food for 7 acres. So Williamstown doesn't have too many farms like that. Anyway, that was a big project. I sell to Wild Oats. Yep, I sell to Meze's restaurant. Buys a tremendous amount from me. We need about 6 restaurants like that. Because they're very, very focused on farm to table, and they buy whole animals and break them down in the kitchen, which is economical for them and works well for my operation. Again, you know, the thing that held that back for so long was the USDA facilities, so which we didn't have good ones until about 2003, 2004. So now that we have those, it's still 35 miles away, but that's not bad. Still a hassle getting chickens processed, USDA, but so what? But the big thing for Williamstown farmers is the lack of infrastructure. It's kind of, you know, slowly disappeared. And by infrastructure, I mean things like where you get your grain from, where you get your equipment worked on, where you get your artificial insemination from, you know, where you get your animals slaughtered. All of that has moved away from Williamstown, just because we're not, we don't have as much land really to put into agriculture as surrounding communities like Hoosick Falls, Pownell, New Lebanon, and so that's the struggle. On the other hand, there's a lot of interest, a tremendous amount of interest in locally produced food, so that's great, you know. So the demand's there, and if you go to the holiday farmers markets in November and December, you can see that, you know, they're very successful. So, but you know, so it's kind of hurting for the infrastructure, but on the other hand, you got a great market. It's a bit of both. Cool. Yeah.
Well, I know when we were kids, my sister had sheep for 4-H and couldn't find anybody to do it.
Yeah.
You know, so like a fool, I volunteered. Neighbors found out about it, and it's all gone from there. I've never advertised once. You know, I go all over, doing it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. This makes 50 years I've been doing this. Yeah. You know, all kids on the farm have some kind of an animal.
Yeah.
And sheep are one of the easier ones to take care of. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been coming to the...
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know. There was a young fella, he was about this big when I first came, and this is the first year he's not here. He's all grown up. So I've been coming here quite a while. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is the nicest day we've ever had, though, as far as the actual weather-wise. Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Yeah, from the end of February to the end of June, I'm gone somewhere every day shearing for people.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of people, you know, say, why don't they do their own, you know, but it can get kind of tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, just like there was a lady, I used to work at a horse farm, and she couldn't understand why people with sheep didn't shear their own sheep. Well, I said, do you shoe your own horses? He said, no, that's different. I said, it's the same thing, and everybody's got something they're good at. Yeah. I've learned years ago I wanted to do everything myself. As you get older, you learn you got stuff you're good at, you do, and you let somebody else do what they're good at, you know, and then it works good for everybody. Yeah.